All right, so with that, folks, I believe we are officially good to go right now for all of us live inside the trading room. Michael, Bob, Brian, Lita, Amy, great to see all of us right now. Hopefully you could hear me on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, but whether you can or cannot, the show must go on, right? So I'm hoping at least social media is good to go. I know the trading room is good to go here. There's a couple of housekeeping notes to begin first, folks. Actually, one main one, if anything. For those of us inside the live trading room, stay tuned. Coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern time, actually a bit of a special webinar coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're actually doing a closing bell webinar series with Bruce Pringle from Bookmap. So Bruce and his coworker, Josh, can't get enough Joshes out there, right? But they are going to be coming on our platform to do a webinar detailing Bookmap and all of the nice features that we use with it as day traders. So I know that Rich will look to post that link coming up just later on this afternoon. You should have already received an email on it. But with that, though, I just wanted to make mention of 4 p.m. Eastern, our closing bell webinar with Bruce Pringle of Bookmap. So, hey, I look forward to that myself. Bookmap's my main tool when it comes to following the big volume. Brian asking we just stay in here. No. I believe that there will be a separate link. We'll post that here in the chat board, though, for you. All right. But with that, though, I mean, hey, CMRA, a stock that's popping up really nicely here. Bob called it out just inside the trading room a moment ago, and it led to this huge explosion up towards the highs of 335. So at this point right now, obviously, we're going to put this on our main list, but let's see if support could hold. If not at 3, it seems like basically 294, 295, where I quickly drew my line just there. That should be support, 3 to 295. So it's pulling back down right now, but CMRA definitely looks good here across the afternoon. Well, I'd be damned. I did not get my water bottle here in time. All right, I just realized that now. All right, we're going to try and be efficient with time here, folks, because otherwise, we had the AKRO stock that made a huge move in pre-market, but coming off Traders Talk, our weekly workshop we conducted earlier this morning, it's been all about the $28.28 price, $28.28. There was a huge 195,000 share print that got filled there earlier this morning. Little interesting food for thought. That's all I'll say here. Having a little fun. That's all we're doing here, right? Because we follow the big money, indicators or anything else is all secondary protocol, right? Well, I had a little fun this morning. That's all, just to say. And I did a very quick fib retracement from all-time high to all-time low. And with that, I mean, that print that came out on the tape, it was at 28.28. It is just mere pennies under the 61.8% retracement line. So it leads me to think that it's been holding underneath there for so long. I just don't think it's going to have the juice to break it and really run. I'm hopeful that it does. It's been teasing us across the whole afternoon. But even just recently here, I came back to my desk after a small break, ended up doing a little sunbathing outside. Nice out in Florida today. And I come back, and this thing is still just holding perfectly under 28.28, even like before the last one. It just topped off there, pulled back. Until this level gets broken through, there's no trade on this AKRO. So, hey, hopefully it pops it. It might pop it here during this meeting. I'm going to put this on our watch list for right now in hopes of that 28.28 level getting broken through. I swear, I keep looking back for my water, and I know that I don't have it. Whew. All right, let's try and be quick with time, folks. We'll go from top to bottom here. Let's see what else we could add to our watch list right now. The NRBO is not something that we're going to look to follow at this point. Ended up making a huge pop and then dump right back down after. It was holding this big halt print line here pretty nicely across the day, especially after we finished up Traders Talk at 12:15. But with the lower highs, ended up breaking support, lower low. All right, the CMRA stock. This one, of course, we started with. This one's on our list already. ETNB teased us this morning, really. I mean, we were talking about it throughout the pre-market, the morning meeting, how there was not really much historical data to work off of between, let's call it 6 and all the way up top at $11, like back here from the end of last year on the weekly chart. So I was hopeful to see a lot more here today. Ended up dumping off when the market opened up, and it just kept dumping off and dumping and dumping and really pulled back towards that 650 level. And it's just been flat since. So I'd love to see this pop. I'd love to see us make a big move back up to break back over 7. I'll put this on our side list for right now. It just looks pretty flat, though, here for the meantime. Got IFBD walking right into this pop right now. Look at that. Nice. So I don't think anyone typed that in the chat board just recently here either. That's how fresh of a move this is. So nice to see happen here. IFBD making a nice pop up towards that 250 level, a little bit underneath it right now. Let's take a quick look here just on the historical charts, the daily, the weekly, the monthly perhaps. There really isn't much to work off of even on the weekly. It's just been a smooth, steady downtrend here across the last year, year and a half. If anything, maybe like right here, and this is way high at 528-ish. I mean, it kind of broke below there, topped off here, false breakout above it, and then it dropped off. There really isn't much to work off of here on the historical charts. So we'll see what comes ahead at 250, and we'll take it level by level. All right, VNet, look at this. We talked about this in Traders Talk earlier today, too. I ended up at least getting 7 cents on this trade. I got out above 6. I was in from 608. We were talking about it in Traders Talk, saying the more and more that price was getting needled at and poked at, eventually it's going to lead to a nice drop. And it's been a really smooth short since that 608 price right there. Right now across the next hour and a half, I'm not expecting a higher low and a pop right back up. I don't know if this is going to dump all the way back down here. I wouldn't expect it, at least just yet. So it's a tradable stock, don't get me wrong, but I feel like just the up and down move here led the stock to be more exhausted at this stage right now. All right, we keep it going. AEHR, a bit of a familiar name to some of us inside this trading room here. We ended up doing really well on this stock going back into basically this time last year, basically right around September, August time last year, led to a big pop, breaking all-time highs back then. Well, came all the way back down, sub 10, and came all the way back up now. I actually haven't seen this stock in a little while. In like the last month and a half, we really didn't trade it as it ran back up here as much. I don't recall us really calling the stock out and trading it as much back in early to mid-July. So, hey, it's moving back up pretty nicely here today, but it seems like it's already at historical, past support, now current resistance. Loosely right around that 1650-ish, a little bit underneath that, if anything. So, it's looking a little sluggish right now. It was trending up pretty nicely before. We'll come back to this at the end, maybe. All right. Well, I'll tell you, like I said, from the morning here, right, with the market dropping off from pre-market all the way through, SPY is like well under 400 at this point. I mean, below 397 right now. You're not going to find a whole lot on the gainers side right now, right? So UVXY has been moving up. I'll look at the chart in a moment, but I'm just writing it down already on our watch list. Made a big pop in pre-market coming off the bad or worse than expected CPI numbers, and right now making a new high of the day here. So, we normally don't trade ETFs, but when you do, or when the markets are trending well in one direction or another, then it's the time to. And with this is really the only one that we actively day trade here. So we'll focus on this UVXY. Now, there were a couple of others I thought. I mean, CPRX had a little move up earlier today, too. Just wanted to check in on that one pretty briefly. Brian, you're looking at that ARDX, not to say long-term, but, just at least over the next coming days and weeks here, perhaps. A little flat right now. At the fun trade, PHUN, we've had a lot of, pun intended, obviously, fun on the stock. Had a nice little move this morning, but not a whole lot to it going on right now. All right, let's hop over to the loser side here right now, folks. Probably going to find a lot more that's down. Actually, before I do so, if you're remiss to not at least mention NEO, this thing ended up making a complete reversal right out the gate this morning. Ended up making a really sharp run, continuing the momentum that it did have back from yesterday. So, NEO was pretty strong from the morning session. It's just on our side list right now. If it was trending a lot better on the way up, if the markets were giving us any hope for a bounce, I would be more inclined to put NEO on our watch list, but it doesn't seem like we're going to be catching that bounce, at least just yet. So for right now, I'll pass on the Neo trade. All right, hopping on over to the loser side here right now. CRDF, we walked into this trade pretty late, but it was still dropping off the time down to 2 and under 2 right now. For a stock that's below $5, this was shortable from after hours yesterday. Not a whole lot of activity in pre-market, though, so we didn't really care for it as much early, but led to a beautiful trade, though, a beautiful drop-off after the open. And this is an ETF here, BULZ. What is this? This is a micro sector FANG, obviously bullish, triple leveraged. So when the market's dropping off, this going with it. It is shortable, but there's too much liquidity on the order book for this one, even compared to UVXY. SOXL, semiconductor, triple leveraged ETF. LABU, TQQQ, obviously follows the Qs there. Going to be a lot more that's down that 5% that we look for here at this point, folks. I'm not going to do my joke on it, but the stock U here at this point dropping off pretty nicely. We're going to put this on our watch list here. Not you, but the stock U. Come on. That's my joke. All right. So what else we got here, though, folks? U is looking pretty good. We have Real. It is dropping off. It's at the low of the day there. But, right now I'll pass on this at least here. NVTA down big also. It is at the low of the day respectively too. They're tradable. Don't get me wrong. Mark CVNA stock. This had a huge hit from pre-market when the CPI numbers came out. Did not exactly recover like Neo did it? So this one has a lot more weakness to it at this point in the day. I like this trade. The CVNA is a good short. That might just about do it, folks. I mean, hey, there's definitely more that's down. So if there's anything else that looks really good, namely as a short, moving with the market, let me know. Michael says, doesn't seem like there's as many hard to borrows as usual. That's a good sign. That's a good thing, at least, right? Now, a lot of them on the loser side are like cheapies that are like a little sluggish. Wendy saying CMRA. So we started off with CMRA already. That's still going. That was a good call from Bob just prior to the meeting beginning here. JWEL. It's not really trading a whole lot of volume right now, but it's at the highs. But I'd rather be focused on something that's dropping off with the market right now, folks. I mean, I know that we had the cruise lines on our watch list heading into the open. So, hey, NCLH ended up having a strong recovery at first, but right now there's not a whole lot going on any direction here, up or down. Take a look at a couple of the other like name brand companies out there, American-wise, GM. Look at it like a Twitter. GM didn't look too bad as a short. Just broke below 41. Rebroke below 41, I should say. That could be a decent trade as a short. American Airlines at the low. So airlines ended up looking a lot weaker, or I should say cruise lines ended up looking a lot weaker compared to airlines heading into the market open. But now AAL is down over 5%. That's at the lows. UAL is looking really good as a short too. So I may kind of just slap airlines on our watch list altogether here at this stage. I see Uber popping up on my loser scan here from Benzinga Pro. We'll look at Uber. It's not down really a whole lot. I mean, pulling back down a bit, but it's obviously not near the lows like the airlines are. So those look pretty nice. All right, last call, folks, from our side list here. ETNB still kind of holding in there. I'm going to put this on our main list here right now for the reason that I put it on our watch list from this morning. I did not short this morning. I was rather looking for the true bounce, the bounce and the run back up. So once it pulled back and it broke below support, there was really no retracement back up for anything for a potential break back over 7 and a long from there, or otherwise, just to see a sharper pullback to make a lower high and then a drop low. This just tanked. So we even said it from the morning at least that, hey, what if this craps out the other way? This could be a good short. Well, this dropped off so fast at the market open that it was tough for any one of us to try and capitalize on. If this fails to break higher, and if this does look to, hold where it's at here, or if it makes a false breakout over 7, this could be a very good short heading into the close like it was at the open. So ETNB, I'll put on our watch list for both directions to see if this could blast over 27 here, or otherwise we'll see what happens if it doesn't. Chris getting 41 cents on the CMRA trade live inside our trading room. He was in from 319. Nice catch there, Chris. Took a while for that support to build, but it certainly paid off, right? I mean, when it kind of just pins itself there, it gets a little nerve-wracking. It's like, oh, come on, just pop already. Come on, make your move already. And thankfully, this thing ended up launching up pretty nicely. All right, folks, I think that just about wraps it up for me here inside the live trading room. Actually, I should not say that just yet. Actually, I got a coaching session with one of our students at 3 o'clock. I'll be trading with them one-on-one, but I will be back on the mic myself personally here. I'm going to be tagging Rich out inside the trading room at 3:30. I'll be hopping back on here to wrap things up for us here heading into the close. Before I do that, I'll be refilling up on my water. That's for sure. All right. So for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, please keep in mind that we're going to be conducting our Closing Bell webinar series later on today. Go right to our website if you're interested in joining and registering for that event. Any questions that you have, feel more than free to send me a quick email on top, josh@ctutrading.com. Otherwise, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, that is, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below right there on the bottom of the stream to get yourself started. For Michael, Mike, Leda, Chris, Nina, and all of us inside the live trading room, I look forward to talking to us coming up here later on this afternoon at 3:30.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.